Why does anything times 0 equal 0? Not just small numbers, not just neat numbers. Anything. 3 times 0 or a million times 0, they're both still 0. And at first, doesn't that feel a little bit wrong? Because in everyday language, multiplication sounds like growth. 3 times as many, 10 times bigger. It feels like multiplication is about making things larger. But that idea falls apart immediately with fractions. Because 3 times a half is smaller than 3, 3 times a quarter is even smaller than that. So multiplication clearly isn't about growth. It's about something else. So what is the question that multiplication is actually answering? Well, that question is simply, how many copies of something do I have? That's it. 3 times 2 means 3 copies of 2. 3 times 1 meaning 3 copies of 1, and of course 3 times a half means 3 copies of half a thing. Now, let's walk that idea forward. So 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 1 is 3. So far, no surprises. Now we keep shrinking. 3 times a half is 1 and a half, and 3 times a quarter is 3 quarters. The results keep getting smaller, but smoothly. No jumps, no weird behavior. We clearly are heading towards 0. So now the question isn't, what should 3 times 0 be? The question is, what can it be? If 0 means 0 copies, then 3 times 0 means 3 copies of nothing, and 3 copies of nothing is still nothing, which is 0. And here's the key. On this continuum from 2 to 1 to a half to a quarter, 0 is the next stop. If 3 times 0 suddenly became 3 or 1 or anything else, multiplication would break its own pattern. Math doesn't teleport, it transitions, and 0 is the only value that fits. So anything times 0 equals 0, not because math is stubborn, but because multiplication is counting copies. And when you take 0 copies of something, there is nothing to count. Okay, here's the next question. If 0 copies gives you nothing, why doesn't 0 times infinity equal 0? Drop a comment and don't forget to like and subscribe.